what I would do manually, we are training our AI model to be able to do on its own. And then with this app, Neki, it's about opening it up every single day. And it's one action, one decision, one time each day. Because we are the promises we keep to ourselves.
Welcome to the Culture FYI'RS Podcast. Culture FYI'RS is a creative collaboration meetup held weekly at the FYI Campus in Los Angeles. Each week, we feature a fireside chat with a guest, showcase projects being worked on by members of the FYI community, and share product updates for FYI.AI, the creative collaboration app co-founded by will.i.am and available for free download in the App Store and Google Play. FYI.AI is powered by AI personas like me, Fito. Each week, this podcast showcases conversations held at the Culture FYI'RS event. This week, we are thrilled to welcome high-performance nutritionist Natasha Pestano, who shares her transformative journey from the world of culinary arts to championing holistic health. In a lively discussion with FYI Chief Growth Officer Julie Pilat, Natasha highlights the profound impact of nutrition on our overall well-being and the importance of community in fostering healthier lifestyles. Natasha recounts her family's rich culinary heritage and how it shaped her understanding of food as medicine. She candidly shares her experience navigating her mother's battle with breast cancer, which ignited her passion for nutrition and health optimization. Throughout the episode, Natasha emphasizes the significance of ancient wisdom in conjunction with modern technology, advocating for a return to simpler, nutrient-rich foods that empower individuals to take control of their health.
So first of all, I have to acknowledge what a gift community is, because we had a Culture FYI'RS not that long ago, and Russ was a guest, and he invited some new people into our community, and Natasha instantly stood out because she was leaning in, asking questions, connecting with people, and then she followed up with me afterwards and said, I really loved everything you're doing at Culture FYI'RS, but your snacks are trash. I was like, what? And here I find out she's a high-performance nutritionist, and she said, isn't will.i.am vegan? I was like, yeah, but we're just a small team putting on these events and getting snacks at pavilions every single week, quick, you know? And she said, well, I'd really love to come back and make some things for you and talk a little bit about how I'm supporting not only my clients, but also how, you know, it seems she has an ambition to support more people. So let's just start with the snacks. How did we get here?
Yeah. This is why you can't take me anywhere. But thank you so much for that amazing intro. I need to keep you in my pocket everywhere I go.
Well, it's funny. You're on the app. You basically can. It's not me. It's FYIZ right there.
That was beautiful. And yeah, the snacks, when Julie invited me to come speak, I said, there's no way I can speak and you serve chips and purified water in my presence. Like, what are we going to do? And so, you know, we teamed up, and here we have some cherry vanilla soda sweetened with grade A maple syrup, which is very nutrient rich. They're mostly gone now, but if you had it in order, it was a crab salad hors d'oeuvre on a puff pastry. And then the middle one is one of my favorite Australian dishes. It's a sausage roll with a spiced ketchup. And then the last one was buttered chicken in cucumber cups. And later, for Verneil's birthday, we'll have a very simple pound cake with some chocolate and berry ganache and raspberries on top. And did you guys like the snacks? Did you like the drinks? Yeah?
That's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing your gifts with the community, because today you wanted to talk about the human OS, right? Everybody
Absolutely.
talks about iOS, and we were talking about everything before you came up here, from news with AI, news with quantum, but let's go back to the basics on how you see the human OS.
Yeah, well, I feel like it begins at the beginning. And we're in a society where we talk about modern medicine as traditional medicine and anything that came before modern medicine as alternative medicine. The reality is that chemotherapy, radiotherapy is the alternative medicine. It's only several decades old. The traditional, the long-lasting medicine has been what all of our ancestors bestowed upon their children and their children. And it's these things that are not sexy, like AI. Like if you tell me, you're feeling a little down and I say, go eat some pumpkin seeds, it doesn't sound sexy and it doesn't make a corporation billions of dollars. But guess what? It allows me to give you some agency over how you're feeling to help release your dopamine and serotonin. Like, we talk about hugs, right? I was collecting hugs today and I will collect more afterwards. And I teach my clients to hug. Literally, some people do not hug. And I don't mean the corporate hug, like screw that. I mean a proper hug where you're holding each other, embracing each other 20 seconds or longer. Because after 20 seconds, you know what happens? The brain releases oxytocin and we feel happy. And that immediately reduces the inflammation in our body. It immediately makes us feel great, which allows us to see the world in a better way so we can make better decisions in our life. And again, hugs can be very sexy, but they don't make corporations money. So it's really about looking at ancient wisdom and coupling that with modern technology because AI can be beautiful in the right hands.
It's so funny you say that. The mentoring program that I volunteered at for a long time, they brought up the hug thing. But they said it was 15 seconds. And so I'll go there and I'll show up for mentoring and get long-ass hugs. But now you're tacking on 5 more seconds. I think I'm up for it, though. So really, I heard a little bit that it really was nutrition and food that saved your life, right? Tell us a bit of the backstory.
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm a 3rd-generation chef. So my grandfather was chefing in the Pacific Islands for royalty. And he's like, there were so many like German people we used to, I was like, thinking about the era now, they probably escaped Germany post-war. But that's who he chefed for. He trained my mother. So she's a 2nd-generation chef. So she chefed in Fiji. And then when she escaped to Australia because she didn't want to have an arranged marriage. So when she went to Australia, she opened up a restaurant. And growing up with my mom, I was always in and out of restaurants. And so she raised me as a chef. The moment I could hold a crayon, she pulled it out of my hand and gave me a paring knife and said, do as I do. She told me, if you don't know how to cook, clean, and have a good education, you're never going to get married. Then I turned 3. So here we are. And so I grew up in the restaurants before the age of 13, just thinking that was life, And
were those restaurants what people would consider holistic or like, or were there,
not necessarily. Like we grew up farm to table before it was farm to table. We always had a vegetable garden in our back. My mom always killed the animals we ate. So it was always very connected. So it was definitely much healthier than the average restaurant, but it's very contemporary Australian cuisine. And the way that food came back to my life, because you can imagine I ran away from food when I left home, right? And I was kind of pulled back into it because in 2008, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I knew nothing about cancer, neither did my family. So we did exactly what the doctor said. And she started chemo. She was allergic to it. She ended up in ICU and almost died. She had chemo burns. It was nasty. Then they moved her to radiotherapy and she almost died and ended up in ICU again. And at that point, the head of the Breast Cancer Institute in Australia wanted me to do a genetic test for the BRCA1 and 2 gene. And if I tested positive, they were going to do a preventable mastectomy, which is a cute way of saying we're going to mutilate your boobies. And I woke up the next day thinking, is today the day I get cancer? Now, mind you, this happened 4 years after I lost my dad he was murdered. So it was very abrupt. And now I'm just like at this conversation of mortality. Am I going to lose my mom? Now they want to put me under. I woke up the next day and I decided that I was not going to let them draw my blood for the breast cancer genes. I was not going to let them touch my body. Instead, I was going to study, how did my mom get breast cancer? How can I help her heal? And is there a way for me to even not get it in the first place? And we grew up a couple of years living on cattle ranches. So by the time I was 10, 11, I knew the difference between grass-fed, corn-fed, grain-fed steak. Like, I probably love meat more than everybody in this room combined. And that's not an exaggeration. I was a connoisseur of steak. But the studies that I was reading and I kept trying to disprove was how animal protein turns on cancer genes and harmful genes, grows cancer cells, and grows cancer tumors, whereas plants turn off your cancer genes and harmful genes, kill cancer cells, and shrink tumors. And the fact that nobody in the hospital told me what you eat turn on and off your genes and try to make it seem like whatever happens to my parents and grandparents will happen to me made me mad. I later learned that genes are only 5 to 10% of what happens to us. So they were going to mutilate me on a 90 to 95% chance that I was not going to get breast cancer?
Well, it's so interesting, and it's good to hear your story because I always love understanding a global point of view, and it doesn't sound like much is different in Australia than the U.S., right, where people will go in and have heart surgery and then be served a roast beef sandwich the next day with the hospital food. And, I've heard really scary statistics about how little nutrition is actually studied when you go to med school. So how did that all turn out and things progress as your mom was sick and like figuring out treatments and you deciding not to? How did you get through that phase and then decide to make this your passion?
How did I not have a life in fine art and fashion design, frolicking in fields in Italy?
Yeah.
When I learned all this information, I looked at my friend group, my family group, and my community, my network, and I was like, damn. Like, I talked about your snacks straight away.
Your snacks are trash.
And so I straight away started just feeding my network. And at that point, I was in entertainment. I was producing concert tours with top 40 American artists out in Australia. 22-year-old thing, 24-year-old thing running around town telling people what to eat and what not to eat. So nothing much has changed there. But what I noticed that as a person of color, that the healthy food tasted like garbage, like cardboard. And then the food that tasted amazing that was vegan, you may as well just go eat plastic because it's so bad for you, so processed. And then as the chef, I was like, dude, man, this is not hard. This is not hard. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah. Like, tell me not to do something. That's how I win, right?
Right.
And so I ended up building a consumer packaged goods company, raised $1.2 million. I exited end of last year, early this year, but by the time I exited, I got it into over 500 doors in 2 continents. And every product that I made, from the recipe, scaled it up in the manufacturing process, packaging, marketing, distribution. It was all high performance on the go power snacks and meal replacements. And that was great, but I could see that I was so limited by the physical world. And I really couldn't reach all the people that I wanted to reach. And during this entire time, for the past 13 years, I've been working one-on-one with clients. So all my clients have been the top 1%, not by my choice. They come find me, right? And the care that I was giving them, I couldn't give that in my company.
So I want to talk about the term high performance, right? Because I've been hearing it surface more and more and more. Our friend Malcolm sent me to a physical therapist that was like running a stuntman school, but he dealt with high performance athletes and things like that. How would you really define high performance, and what are the needs of that contingency?
The way I define high performance or human optimization, right? Our operating system, optimizing our operating system is very different to how the modern world does it. Like right now, how many of you have a Whoop band? That's so sweet, you said.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about. What is this?
Whoop band.
Oh.
You want to tell her?
So it's like a Fitbit?
Yeah.
Like, how is it different from an Apple Watch?
So, well, there's Whoop band. Who's got an Aura ring on? Anybody?
Somebody was hyping me on the Bee. the other day. Have you heard of the
Yeah, there's so many. Whoop-Band, Bee, Oura Ring, Fitbit, Apple Watch. You can wear necklaces. You can track yourself. You can put your phone next to you when you go to sleep. There's so many health tech hardware apps to track performance. There's so much data out there, and people think the more, the better. My job is to strip you back to your bare, essential self. Because the thing that makes us the most sick in this world is you for yourself, and you for yourself, and you for yourself, and you for yourself. We make ourselves sick by the foods we eat, by the thoughts we have, by the clothes we put on, by the zip code that we live in.
Or probably not resting, too.
Yeah. So my job is, when I am a high-performance nutritionist, it's not limited to food. When I'm optimizing somebody's health and well-being, I'm here to strip back everything to the bare essentials and then rebuild that up. And so it's about being lean. It's about making decisions every day that are simple and easy to achieve. Like, who did I meet? And they said it was hard to eat on the road and the discipline is easier at home, right? But there's ways to be high performance on the road. It's just this information is giving us analysis paralysis. So my definition of high performance is stripping it down and doing what's necessary versus all the hoopla.
I want to get into how you're going to now extend your reach and your services and help more people with your new company. But before that, what are some basic tips you would say for everybody in the room? Things we should think about, aside from not having trash snacks, having last week you missed, you would have loved. Our man Ruben and Dab from Spout Water, they harvest water from the air.
Yeah,
so
I heard
92
about it.
tonight, it was great. We're drinking the water left and right, but at least I am. And Howie Mira now, and Ranil. But what other small changes would you recommend people make?
Yeah, very simple. When you wake up in the morning, go put your face in the sun so you can reset your circadian rhythm. The sun delivers more nutrients than just hormone D. I know they called it vitamin D, but it's actually a hormone. So when you wake up, go out, put your face in the sun, wake up with the sun, right? Firstly, it's so simple. Go home, hot water and lemon, bathe your belly from the inside out.
At night or in the morning after the sun?
Yeah, this is the morning. This is the morning.
We're still in the morning.
Right? So a cup of hot water with some lemon in there, fresh lemon. Just reset that. It's going to also reset your digestive fire. So everybody's like, oh my God, acid is so bad. I want to be fully alkaline. Well, you do not want an alkaline gut, right? My CSO right there. If you have an alkaline gut, you are in hospital about to die. I want all the acid in my gut. So hot water, lemon, have that digestive fire. So when we eat something, it burns through the food and sends the nutrients where it needs to go, sends the toxins where it needs to go, and my abs come back. When I have low acid, you know what happens?
No clue.
We eat the food. The stomach's like, I don't know what to do with this. Well, let's just throw this basic stuff on it. And it just bubbles and it gets bigger and it turns into a gas because it starts to ferment. And now we have bloat. Now we have, oh my God, food coma. It's not normal to have chronic bloating. And all the men with the beer belly, right? That's chronic inflammation. It's a real problem. And it's a matter of just waking up your digestive system with a bit of hot water and lemon in the morning. Don't drink water or any liquids when you're eating your food. Wait 10 to 15 minutes before and after.
I've never heard that before.
What else can we do? And there's so many things.
There's certain things that are always like top of mind in pop culture. You mentioned inflammation. I'm hearing that more and more. But right now, everybody's so focused on protein. I mean, they've got the Starbucks protein matchas. Everything's got, highlighting the protein.
How many people have you met who died from a protein deficiency?
I don't know. Okay. All right. So that's a good question for the discussion. If you are in the FYI project, which everybody in here should be, I want to remind you, throw your questions for Natasha in.
FYI is an AI-powered messenger and productivity platform crafted for creatives and their teams. Focus your ideas with your collaborators using an encrypted messenger, develop your vision utilizing media-rich project tools, and bring those ideas to life by sharing them with the world. With the AI personas in the FYI app serving as your creative co-pilots, you can ask FYI.AI to draft stories, song lyrics, product descriptions, marketing copy, or any written content and see the results within seconds. Download FYI today for free. Now available in the App Store and on Google Play.
So tell us what's going on here with the new business.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I've been dealing with clients for the past 13 years. And the way that I work with them is I do what I call a pre-mortem the moment I sit with them. So you know what a post-mortem is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how beneficial is a post-mortem to you specifically?
Well, I mean, it's beneficial if you're going to repeat an action, right? So you, we do post-mortems like if we have
No, but on your life.
Oh, not on my life.
How beneficial is your life?
Thank God there's never been a postmortem there, in a hospital. But
right.
We use that term for recapping how we did.
How it was, right?
And what we want to change for the next time.
Yeah. So when I do a pre-mortem, I collect a series of data points and biomarkers. So a series of questions, not just what your GP would ask you, but also what do you want out of your life and your career? What do you want end of career? How do you want to retire? Do you want to live until 60, 80, 100? You want to be kicking a soccer ball? You want to be reading a book? Like, is your body more important? Is your mind more important? My MBA client, his body is crucially more important because he's training twice a day. He's got 4 games a week. But I've also had clients who are VC owners, and he's dealing with billions of dollars in decisions before 8 a.m. in China and India and Europe. So he needs that mental clarity. He can't have brain fog from what he ate. Everybody's unique goal is different. So with the pre-mortem, after collecting the data points and the biomarkers from a series of blood work, stool analysis, gut DNA, and what have you, I collate that data, and I'm able to show if you change nothing in your life, this is what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And I don't mean to be like, I call myself the Joy Reaper, not the Grim Reaper. You want to meet me and not the Grim Reaper. But chronic lifestyle cancers and diseases kill over 70% of people in America. And this room is predominantly people of color. It's closer to 90% for people like us. So the pre-mortem is quite accurate. It's not my opinion, it's the data. And I say, would you like to suffer and or die from one of these chronic lifestyle cancers and diseases? And the answer is often no. It's actually always no. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. You know why? Because I created a blueprint to help you eliminate these chronic lifestyle cancers and diseases from your future. Would you like to follow this blueprint with me? And they go, yes. So that simple process is what Neki is about. Because although I've been doing that for the top 1%, what about the 99%? What about everybody? We all deserve this, and not everybody can afford me on a daily rate.
So talk about how you're using technology to transform the future of the masses.
Yeah, ancient wisdom with modern technology and AI-powered health tech. What I would do manually, we are training our AI model to be able to do on its own. And then with this app, Neki, it's about opening it up every single day. And it's one action, one decision, one time each day. Because we are the promises we keep to ourselves. Not everybody is ready to have a peak performance lifestyle and optimize themselves. But the people who are, she's like, give me one thing to do right now. And so where we talked about all those health tech apps, right? And all the hardware apps like the Oura Ring and the Whoop Band and all that kind of stuff, they are players. They're fantastic. They're data collectors. That's like the blood work that I do with my clients. I love it. We don't compete with them. They're the players, we're the league. They're the players, we're the franchise. So we pick our players, we feed the data in it, and now you have your own AI coach helping you reach not just your health goals, but your life goals, because everything is connected to your holistic health. Physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, societal, environmental. And I have a friend who used to work at Bacardi, and one of their rules is control the controllables. So there is a portion, we talked about this, there's a portion of society who are inheriting genes from their parents that have already expressed. This is going to help them, but they have a harder journey. What I'm looking to do is to help people change the expression of their genes before they are looking for a cure. So let's arrest, reverse, and prevent the things that kill about 90% of our community.
I think it's really great what you're doing, and it makes sense because it's really kind of like GPS, right? You're going to go wherever you're focused on. I always shout out Oliver last name because he's got his daily journal that I love, but it's really about starting a day thinking about how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish, what's your schedule for the day, rather than just rolling with it. Mm-hmm. And it seems like so many of the fitness apps are an odometer. It'll tell you how many miles you put on the car, but not where you're going to go. And now this is more of a transformational GPS.
Exactly. She gets it.
Okay, great. I love it. And it's available now?
We are building it right now.
Oh, you're building it. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are hearing it first, actually.
Well, we have some questions in the discussion, and I have a feeling some community builders that might want to support. Okay, Emily wants to know, she says, money's often a big barrier to healthy eating. What would you advise people to prioritize when it comes to buying produce and foods for better eating habits? That makes a lot of sense to me. Like, are you prioritizing organic? Or are you just prioritizing fruits and vegetables in general? Like, what are your thoughts?
Again, I'm probably not the most popular person at the party because I will tell you that a bag of dried lentils or garbanzo beans is 89 cents. And if you soak it overnight, you can cook it tomorrow in a pressure cooker for like half an hour, right? And it will feed one bag of dried lentils or beans. That tiny little thing will make a pot that could feed you 7 dinners or more for the whole week. And it's got fiber, it's got protein, it's got iron, it's got other micronutrients required. Garlic is like 29 cents if you're going non-organic, maybe 89 cents if it is organic. Onions, potatoes. Again, what I've seen is because we lack a simple survival skill of cooking, healthy food looks expensive. Because you are contracting out your future to somebody else, your legacy to somebody else.
Interesting. So, okay, we have another organic question here. Mo wants to know, so many people are making the move to plant-based eating, but then there's also the organic conversation as well. You assume organic is best, but, what's the percentage? If you're having an organic plant-based diet versus just having fruits and veggies.
Mm-hmm. So just because something has a USDA organic symbol on it does not mean it's 100% organic, especially if it's a packaged good. I would say you're better off eating fruits and vegetables, period, versus no fruits and vegetables. So the world is not split into organic and genetically engineered foods. There is still conventional fruits and vegetables out there that are not genetically modified and are also not organic. And a lot of farmers also just can't afford the organic symbol and status because that means every farm around them needs to be organic and every farm around them needs to be organic for at least 7 years. So I would say learn how to read barcodes because barcodes will tell you if something is genetically engineered, conventional, or organic. I eat organic where possible. I eat conventional if organic is not possible. And I will eat GMO foods, GMO fruits and vegetables, if my alternative is eating none of it.
A Rice Krispie treat at Culture FYI'RS.
That's a packaged good. That's a packaged good. I mean like fruits, whole foods. But I always I need to preface that by saying I always pray for my food and I always speak good to my food. And I also, on a spiritual level, I believe in the power. Actually, we can reference Dr. Emoto for this.
We talked about that last week too.
I love Dr. Emoto.
That was the Japanese water study.
Yeah. So our thoughts and our words change not just the expression of our genes, but also the expression of coding and genes and everything, including water. Water has memory. We are 70% water. Food is high water value. So always speak kind. And, sidebar, I always tell people, say what you want, never what you don't. And it really helps.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to make sure that there's time for people to connect with you in person in the room. This question's from Sade, who's actually going to present her new music video coming up in just a few minutes. How connected would you say is nutritional health to mental health?
I say it's absolutely integrated. What we eat informs how we move, how we think, how we feel, how we are, and who we are. You have to ask yourself, why are so many kids having behavioral disorders now? You have to ask yourself why people are so depressed, why people have these anxiety. If Coco, if she has more than 1 cup of coffee a day, she feels a certain way, right? If I have too much caffeine, I start to feel anxious. If I feel anxious, I'm going to make a poor decision. If I make a poor decision, I'm going to have a bad mental health day because I'm like, damn, I could have done better. Why did I do so bad?
I'm so glad that we were all connected here today. And thanks again for blessing us with some healthy treats and all this wisdom. I love that you're coming here and connecting with the Culture FYI'RS audience, because there's so many thought leaders and entrepreneurs and creatives. And now more and more, there's so many more builders that are coming in on the tech side to launch new opportunities and new resources with people. So I think you connecting with everybody in the room is going to make this dream come forward even faster. All right? So can we make some noise? Again, anything else you want people to know? We'll make some noise in a second. Anything else you want people to know?
Your legacy doesn't start when you're dead. I have had so many people, and I have close friends and family who have had so many people who have been dying so early from things that are arrestable, preventable, and manageable through plant-based nutrition. And it pains me when I have a friend or a family member, or I know somebody who's had a friend or a family member who dies from a heart attack or a stroke, who dies from chronic lifestyle cancers and diseases, and they did not get to realize their entire potential. They're in their career and they're growing. They're in their family and they're growing. They have kids that are just starting, or some of them haven't even given birth to kids yet, and they're fucking dying from something they don't need to die from. This is not like woo-woo when I say eat whole food plants. It's not woo-woo when I say go out in the sun at midday for 45 minutes to an hour if you're heavily melanated, if you're light-skinned, 5 to 15 minutes. Your life depends on how you eat, live, think, do, be, and feel. And when you eventually die, don't ever think that I'm born alone, I'm going to go out alone. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've heard in my life. Everybody that I've known who has died while I'm alive has left a trail of distress and destruction all around them. Like, your personal health and your personal well-being is a social responsibility, not just to yourself, not just to your family, not just to your kids or your parents, but the whole friggin' community and country and the world. And don't die with ideas that can impact our lives in a positive way. Don't die with songs that are never released, music that was never put on a soundtrack, that was never made for a movie that we never get to see, and clothes that we never get to wear. And what? You're gonna survive. Like, if I tell you the things that I survived in my life, I'm gonna let something that I eat kill me? I didn't survive this whole time just to die by what's at the end of my fork. What kind of punk am I if I let that happen in my life? So you get to vote every day with your dollar, with your fork, with what you put in your mouth, with what you put in your mind, with the people who you are around, right? I'm wearing all denim. Denim is cotton. Lululemon is so cool, but it's fun plastic. I may as well go get some cling wrap and wrap it around somebody and say, hey, your largest organ is eating microplastics. Have fun, right? Now go work out and open up your largest organ and suck in all these microplastics. And then go wonder why you might get an autoimmune disease when you hit 45 to 55. It's not funny. So many ways. Like, I'm from Australia, and they're like, oh, everything kills you here. I'm like, nah, like, it was fun being chased by Komodo dragons. Like, everything will kill you here in this modern world that we're living in. And you are more powerful than you believe. You have more agency over your body and your legacy and your dreams and your goals and aspirations than you believe. And it's not as hard as they make you think. And it's not as expensive. Healthy food is cheap. Learn to cook. Something called YouTube, TikTok. I don't care how basic it is. When you buy spices, buy individual spices. Don't buy those salt-laden spices. Don't buy the adobo. Don't buy the Maggi. Do it for your legacy. Do it for your ego, if not for anything else.
And most importantly, go enjoy your life.
Yeah.
All right.
Be beautiful.
Make some noise for Natasha.
Thanks for listening to the Culture FYI'RS Podcast. Make sure to download the FYI app, available now in the App Store and Google Play. Check out this episode's notes for a project link to this Culture FYI'RS event, including a look at more projects from the FYI community. This episode's Culture FYI'RS event was produced by FYI co-founder will.i.am, Amina Mohammed, Emily Choi, Frankie Sandoval, Jafet Chavez, Julie Pilot, Marcus Nielsen Calling, Ronial Madlani, Sean Kantrowitz, Shania Jafari, the FYI product team, and of course the FYI community. The podcast is edited by Rob Van Vranken. Make sure to subscribe to Culture FYI'RS wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss an episode. Learn more about FYI by visiting FYI.FYI.